was interesting. She said, I have been buying cocoa from one cocoa seller just around UNDP for 2 years now. Anytime I come to buy the cocoa, she fed the cocoa, you know, they tie it in this rubber. And then this year I decided that I'm no longer going to get it from that rubber. I have my own container. Now when I came to the woman finds it extremely inconvenient to fetch the cocoa and pour it into that container I have. Now she always insists, let me put it in the rubber when you go and then you pour it in the container. I mean, that is the level of the challenges that are confronting us. I'm not here to lament, but I'll provide what the ministry is doing so far to ensure that we're able to overcome this insult. On that basis, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed policymakers, friends from the media, and civil society organization, we gather under the theme that resonate deeply with Ghana national aspirations and the core mandate of the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, ending plastic waste in Ghana, a sustainable future for all. And I don't think that we could have gotten a better theme than this. The keynote address, which I am asked as the humble servant of the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology to deliver, would focus on some of the things we are doing. I'll begin by looking at the challenges that confront us collectively. Ghana generates approximately, and I was telling Doctor, that we have moved beyond 840,000 tons to 1.1 million tons of plastic waste each year. So that is alarming. Shockingly, over 50% of this remains uncollected. So the 1.1 million tons, over 50%, that is over 500,000 tons or even 600, remain uncollected. And just about 9% is recycled. So if you are not able to collect over 50%, and even the one we have collected, just 9% of it that we're able to recycle. The consequences are dire. Clogged drains and floods in our cities. Plastic-laden fishing. So the fish you and I eat, those of us who love eating fish, we eat a lot of plastics unknowingly. Public health risk and the cost to our economy estimated is over $6 billion annually. Nearly 11% of the GDP of this country. That is the consequences of plastics. At the heart of this is an unsustainable linear model. We take, make, use, and discard. Between 1990 and 2017, our raw material use more than doubled, with plastic consumption per capita rising from 5.7 kg to 7.4 kg. A throwaway culture has displaced traditional, low-impact practices, and our infrastructure is unable to support it. So urban convenience has led us to where we are today. We used to have this, you buy wachi, they were put in leaves, but urban convenience, you know, human beings sometimes we are funny creatures. I read an article which was written by someone, and he said that man was created naked, Adam and Eve, as a result of civilization. They started covering themselves with leaves, and they were covering just the private part, and then we began to use wool to cover the entire body. In the name of civilization, nudity has been the thing that we have decided, and we see that as civilization. And these are some of the challenges that confront us. And it is not exclusive of even plastic, many aspects of our lives. Our vision as a government is what the two earlier speakers have all, touched on: circular economy for Ghana. We envision a circular economy that regenerates natural systems, retains value in products and materials, and eliminate waste. Ghana's circular economy roadmap sets the direction. It targets 6 sectors, including plastics, and propose cross-sector solution to accelerate innovation and reduce environmental burdens. This national agenda aligns with global movement. We actively engage in the Africa Circular Economy Alliance, the Global Plastic Action Partnership, and negotiation for UN Plastic Treaty. Ghana is not just a participant. We are helping shape the future of not only Ghana, but the entire group. The transition makes economic sense estimates show circular practices could increase our GDP by 1.9% by 2030, and that is nearly about 1.9 million euro. 1.9 billion euro, and save euro 200 to 300 million in import. So if we are able to do this effectively, we stand to get about 1.9 billion euro, and we would have saved this country about 200 to 300 million euro as a result of import. We all know the challenges that our domestic currency face. And I was telling Doctor, there's a simple law of demand and supply. Those of us who did little economics, the higher the supply, the lower the price. The lower the supply, the higher the price, particularly when the goods are inelastic. So if you're able to do this, and we can save this country about 200 to 300 million euro a year, that would ease the pressure that otherwise would have been on our domestic currency. And for me, that would help the country to grow and create the needed jobs. Over 60,000 green jobs are expected to emerge, and I'm happy that BOSS, and under the Ministry of Energy, my good friend John Jinapo and I have had several discussions, and I'm so elated to hear the full implementation of some of the green policies that you have and are implementing. So green jobs are expected to emerge, particularly in recycling, innovation, manufacturing. Conversely, failure to act will deepen degradation, raise health concerns, and hinder tourism and agriculture. One thing that we have as a country that serves as a growth pool on attraction for people who would want to come to this country in the name of tourism is our stability, our security. But I think that what is significant to a lot of tourists now, it is no longer just stability and security, but how clean your environment is. I don't think I would go to a country where I know I'll be subjected to huge environmental hazards. So it is a major economic issue. And I'm happy that all of you are participant actively in supporting government to ensure that we achieve this. Now, progress and gaps, the progress we have made and the gaps that we have identified. We have frameworks such as the National Plastic Management Policy and the Hazardous and Electronic Waste Control Act. We have levies to fund sanitation, but gaps remained. Enforcement is weak, responsibilities overlaps, and planning is fragmented. So we admit that yes, these are the policy interventions we have as a country, but we have also identified the defects as far as those policy interventions are concerned. And together with collaboration, we'll be able to find solutions to them. We are also developing legislations for mandatory extended producer responsibility, ensuring that those who produce plastic help finance their collection and recycling. Because this is a huge challenge. I was in Geneva last month, and I was in France also. We had a program at Monaco on the issue of global funding for the Blue Water Initiative, particularly where plastic becomes an issue. The producer responsibility is huge. Those multi-million-dollar companies that are producing them, they must have a contribution as far as the collection is also concerned. Africa generates 5%, yet we consumed the highest 4% of what we have generated. So it means that we are the least generator, and then we are the highest consumer. If you have global consumption, which is 4%, that is monumental. And we generate just 5% and consumed about 4% of the plastic that we generate. Facing out problematic plastic, Ghana is exploring taxes, bans, and regulations to disincentive single-use plastics. So my brother from EPA, you see, when you say that we ban, and particularly when you are engaging the media, don't be surprised the next headline is that government has banned plastic. They don't say government is considering to ban plastic. Government has banned. And then I will be called by the Flagstaff House to come and explain. So I think that these are processes. We know that it is not an event. It will take some time, but we are determined to ensure that we achieve what countries like Rwanda have been able to achieve. So Ghana is exploring taxes, bans, and regulations to disincentivize single-use plastics, inspired by Rwanda and Kenya. because Rwanda and Kenya they've actually banned. We aim to restrict products such as plastic straws and sachets while promoting local alternatives. And I think that these are some of the things we are looking at. Promoting sustainable alternative. Entrepreneurs are producing bamboo straws, cassava-based packaging, and refillable containers. Our strategy encourages circular design and biodegradable options. The Netherlands aims for 100% renewable or recycled plastics used by 2015. And I think that we can emulate what Netherlands is doing, that by 2050, everything they want to do will be renewable. And that is what is overly ambitious, but I think that they can do that, and that is what we're looking up to. Over half of Ghana plastic is not collected. We will expand waste segregation, support informal waste pickers, and invest in modern recycling infrastructure. Community recycling centers and buyback programs are being piloted. Recycled plastics are already being used in school constructions and even in asphalts. We have a collection center of electronic waste at Agogloshi. The young man brings the plastics there. Then we buy, and we got support from the German government. Because one, if we do not do that, those young men, they don't have the mechanisms and the machines to remove the copper they need. So what they do is that they burn. They subject themselves to the consequences of the smoke that they inhale and subject the entirety of the people who live around in Accra to side dangers. So we are buying. So what we intend to do is to see how we can partner with the private sector